Alright guys, today on the table, the Razor Ground Force Drifter Rad Rod. This thing is awesome. It is so cool. Lots of fun. Gas, brake. This one is completely working now. It was working when it was brought in. Yep. And they just wanted to get some upgrades on it. They like them. I think they're fun. But it's lacking power and longevity. So we're going to go ahead and do a big switch out on the controller. We're going to double the controller size. We're going to go ahead and change out the battery and go in with a lithium. We did a custom lithium to stick in there. So we're going to go from 2.9 amp hours to 11 amp hours. And on the controller, it'll go from 15 amps to 30. Don't know if we'll actually see that out of the battery, but it's kind of what we got. So let's dig into it here. Now to get the cover off, which I already did, it's a bolt here, or screws, just a P2 on those, and then a P1 for these two little pieces that are holding the shell kind of together to kind of keep it sealed. That one's kind of tricky. Now, for most of what we're doing, we don't need all this, so disconnect the charger. We know what that is. Disconnect the motor. We know what that is. Disconnect the battery. We're going to be left with just a few other things. This is the high-low switch. We're not going to end up using that. And one of these is going to be the throttle, and I believe this one is the engine kill switch. But just to be safe, we're probably going to label those. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's the brake kill switch. Where is it on a pen? Pretty much it's going to be one or the other here, so. Orange. Red, orange. There we go. So those are labeled, and pretty much that's everything. But the switch disconnected here. I'll go ahead and pull the battery off just to get it out of the way. And that's just an M4 Allen. For purposes of the video, we're just going to use the drill where we can. Apparently didn't get that one off enough. And I need a longer, something a little longer to get down in there. And smaller apparently. about right. There we go. And there's the battery. A little tab of plastic that was on top. Put that to the side. We're not going to need that again. Why aren't you coming out? There we go. You don't want to lose your screws, so find something to put it on, like a good speaker. Well, it's not good, but it's a good speaker to hold because it's not doing anything else. And our bracket, don't want to lose that either. They're in here, we got all this. Oh, they had some LEDs in it. I bet you that was fun. Alright, so it's got two P2 screws under the controller here. I can't get this out of the way to show you guys at the same time, so I'm coming with the under angle here, and hopefully you can kind of still see it. There we go. It's kind of hard to do with the camera, guys. Sorry. There we go. And there's our controller. Here's a little thing. 24 volt, 15 amp, 19.5 undervolt. Yeah. Did its job for what it did. We're going to come back in with a little bigger though. 30 amp is still going to cut off at 20.5 instead of 19.5. But this is also 30 amp. So not much to it after that. Alright. You can kind of see it. She's got the My Series 6812 motor, 150 watt, which I can't help but think a nice brushless could go there. I got a brushless sitting over here. Oh, yeah, that's pretty close. That would probably almost fit. Oh. Not bad. Alright. I'm going to pause for a minute and get some of these wires ready. Alright guys, went ahead and did a little bit of prep work on the throttle, or on the controller. The throttle itself kind of had to be split up, so I've got the green and the red wire here ready to be soldered up. 2 yellow wires are separated. The couple of wires here are just the on off and all the good stuff. These here on the end are for the on off switch, and I put a XT60 connection for my custom battery. Went ahead and did a little extra reinforcement with some cardboard on it, just so it sits in here like it should. Bingo. And then I put a little bit of UHD tape on the top of the bracket just to kind of give it some cushioning. And then back to our speaker here, grab some of these bolts, and the bolts that came out can go right back in. And you just kind of want to get it started on each side because it's not going to go all the way down. Yeah, that's good. And she's solid in there. Make sure there's no movement at all. Perfect. Alright, I went ahead and stripped this wire back. So we're going to cut this off, and this is going to be our throttle wire. This was originally hooked up to the red and looks like red and orange wire. So sorry for all the movement, guys. And the one that was connected to orange, we're not going to need that wire, so we're just going to kind of run it along the battery thing and stick it off to the side. Really aren't going to need it. And usually these are backwards, so go to plug it in, and blue wire and the blue wire on opposites. That's not right. I have to get just a little push, and if you go in right where the little cutout is, somewhere in there is the release. Gonna get way back in there, push down, pull back, pops right out. And pretty much we're just gonna reinstall it. In the correct position. There we go. Now let's see if they match up. Blue to blue, yellow to tan. Alright. how are we going to mount that? Mount her like this. Went ahead and added a little piece of the UHD tape to here, just because I know that it's going to be right up against this section here. And if it rattles or moves, it's going to bounce off that battery tray holder. There we go. So we used one screw that was already there, used the original screw, went right back into it, and the other side of it kind of rests here, right on the battery tray. And we'll keep moving now. We're not going to need the red and green wire from the switch for high and low. We don't need that anymore. The battery charge, or the charger, will hook up. Even though we're going to kind of hardwire it in. And then two front wires here go to the on-off switch. And here's going to be fun. Let's see if I can grab a flashlight. A little bit better view, not much, but somewhat. Just enough so I can see the wires in here. Alright, there's the on-off switches wired. So I went ahead and wired the throttle just kind of loosely, and taking a look and seeing what is left or what isn't, and just means it's time to hook the battery up. Right. Got the power light on. That's a start. Oh yeah. There it is. One upgraded rad rod, complete with 30 amp controller, 11 amp hour battery, and probably a good increase in speed, and definitely going to go a lot longer. It's almost 3 times the battery life of the original, so but we'll go ahead and finish this up and solder these wires. soldering iron battery's going to see if I can get a little bit out of her real quick. There we go. I've got some heat shrink already on these wires, so all I gotta do is bring it down over it, come back with my heat gun, and idle is all good. So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of clear information out there what to do with the with 4 wires for the throttle. The 2 yellow, again, are just left separate. They're on their own. They're not touching. They're nothing. They're just taped and then taped together. Red goes to, or pink goes to red. Green goes to black. Seems to work. Get the charger set up here. And we're going straight into the circuit right at the charger port, just because I didn't feel like trying to match the plug and playing with all of that. I just figured this will make it that much easier. Plus, this battery won't come out of here. It's kind of stationary in the sense of it. It's enclosed, not usually going to be removed. Alright, got those soldered on there. Those are good to go. And that's pretty much most of the wiring for it. The only thing we really have to do now is kind of put a couple of zip ties in and put all these wires where they belong and put the cover back on. So that's not bad at all. Oh. And there was a zip tie up here, zip tie spot to kind of hold some of these. Yeah, we'll kind of use that still. Looks like the controller's not that tight. There we go. And the heat gun. Where's the heat gun? There it is. Still got power. Go ahead and double check. Uh-oh. Sometimes you gotta give it a second. There we go. Yep. Alright. And where did I put the cover? And there it is. Okay. Put the cover back on. Kind of see how just that one screw seals up that whole thing right there. Hey. Well, that's not good. Oh. I heard it bounce. Well, take a second. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Seals right up across there. Perfect. Now get the last two screws that we've got for the cover. Oops. Got some of these LED wires kind of sticking out down here. I'm just trying to make sure they're pushed back up in there, not in the way. Best thing about fixing them up, making sure they work. Oh, no, I don't at all fit. Alright. But we're gonna try this for the video, right? Maybe not.